I've been running a West Marches campaign in the Dark Matter setting for nearly 2 years, and that campaign has finally come to an end. So, I wanted to make this video to answer a question that one of my players had. Why did I choose Dark Matter as our campaign setting? To answer this question fully, we have to travel back to 2015. 5th edition had just come out the year before, and like many other game masters out there, I was looking for advice, inspiration, help, and support for games in this new edition. And through scouring the internet, through blog posts and websites, I found one of my favorites at the time, the Middle Finger of Vecna. There was so much flavor and inspiration that their add-ons provided, and even if I couldn't use it all back then, every good DM knows it might be useful later. Fast forward to 2022. Wizards of the Coast had just released their official Spelljammer Adventures in Space box set. I, like many others, were disappointed by the quality of the work and the lack of mechanics that were introduced. It didn't really feel like an adventure in space. So I began to search elsewhere to satisfy this need. That's when I was pleased to learn that Middle Finger of Vecna had rebranded to Mage Hand Press around 2016, and they had just released Dark Matter, their own sci-fi setting. I was immediately taken in by the world building. Their blending of fantasy tropes with sci-fi was seamless, incorporating long-held cultural D&D ideas into futuristic settings. When it came time to pick a setting for my next campaign, I didn't just want to pick a place and do the same thing. I wanted to pick a setting that would answer my questions and solve my world prep problems. You see, I was planning on running a West Marches style campaign again, and this kind of campaign allows the players to choose the direction of the story. So what better setting for West Marches campaign than a galaxy like the Verse? Not only was Dark Matter a fine product, but it allowed me the creative freedom to send my players different directions and to have as many kind of adventures as we would like to run. Perhaps we would want to spend some time on a planet with no technological advancements, stuck in the feudal past. Perhaps we want to spend our time hacking our way through cyberspace, or a museum heist that takes place on a planet full of vampires. Maybe a race atop a mutated train driving through the canyons, or an epic space battle against unbeatable odds for the fate of the planet. There's so much variety that can be explored, and a strong enough foundation and center as a setting that it doesn't become lost in its various options. With tools to support each of these types of adventures, this made it an easy choice for me when it came to picking my next campaign setting. No matter what flavor my players were looking for, I could easily find it in the Dark Matter setting. And I was free to incorporate technology into my world in a way I'd never been able to do before for fear of upsetting the balance of power, like introducing guns or laser weapons. Vehicles meant that we could start our adventures in media res. I can narrate the party getting off the ship and arriving at a location as we begin our session without having to worry about exactly how long it took to get there or how we got there. And as our party grows in power and gets access to more powerful ships, their influence and their ability to travel across the verse also expands. And in a setting that is nearly infinite, I could not imagine me and my players running out of options. And we didn't. In addition, Mage Hand Press has released an update to the game for 5.5, including all kinds of updates to their classes, to the rules, and monsters. And Mage Hand Press continues to update their content in a way that after all these years I still appreciate, because it's clear they're driven by passion and inspiration. The Discord is always welcoming with advice for players running a Dark Matter campaign, and they are always willing to answer questions and help people out. As we finish this campaign, I think about where we started, with our party on the galactic frontier on a backwater planet, renting a freelancer ship to complete their missions, to where we are at the end, flying powerful vessels against powerful galactic factions, overthrowing corrupt forces, and battling to depose false gods. The verse allows for so much opportunity for change, and so much opportunity to collaborate with my players. The next campaign takes place 20 years into the future. Although there are some things that tie them together, what I'm most excited for is seeing how the little things ripple out from the choices that my players have made and how they'll affect the rest of the verse for years to come. Every spacer has an opportunity to make the verse their own, and despite the entire galaxy being against them at times, my players have battled those forces to reshape the verse to their will. Starting a new campaign means going back to the beginning, starting at lower levels again. We aren't as worried about interstellar conflicts or trying not to blow up planets. We're worried about the settlers, about the creatures in the woods, and learning about the planet our story takes place in. We've been here before and we'll be here again. No one knows how different things will be, but I do know that the possibilities of the verse are near infinite, and that's why I choose to continue to explore it. Thanks again to all who joined me on this journey. In the time since we started this campaign, I launched my own game, One of Us Dies Tonight. I ran panels at Gen Con and got to explore the TTRPG community in so many ways. I can't wait for the next adventure life sends me on. Until then, I'll catch you all in the next one. A special thanks, as always, to the Goblin Squad. Without your support, none of this would be possible.